VFX stuff is made by like 20-year-old guys in college, right? When I make a few extra bucks, right? And they spend some time making that, and usually they do it because they also learn how to use the tool, right? And then they put it on the store, and it's like, yeah, give me $5, you know? That's kind of the level of it, yeah. That's what this anime is. It's like they literally, these animes in the level, yeah, they literally bought like some like college students, like you know, knock off assets for like $5, and then they're just shooting that into the whole anime instead of an actual animation. That's what it is, anime. Yeah, it's like a college student's terrible extra side job. Okay, guys, time for another episode of the worst anime in existence. I mean, let's have some of the literal ticks, right? Okay, now everyone is dying from pregnancy. I can't let episode, it's so silly. Yeah, now they're all dying from pregnancy, which makes sense because they're all being again ordered by him over and over again. Look at this, no animation as always, just still frames. But I was surprised that all the humans are. Oh, they actually had animation face, interesting. But yeah, I'm also surprised that all the women are about to die, right? Because, you know, it's a birth. So let's see now then. So it's like just babies, I see more it. I guess they didn't have to eat his flesh or something. But yeah, he got like 25 waifus. Oh my god, is that? So an anime where the main character impregnates like 5,000 characters. Yeah, he's like. And they're all born as high ogre or something. Wait, how is she a human? Wouldn't she be half ogre at least? How is the kid half human? I have no idea. This doesn't make any sense either. But like how it's always no animation, it's just CGI. Yeah, at best beginning, disgusting CGI. Frame! This is the worst anime ever. Oh, she moved her hand. Okay, I'm sorry. I take it all back. She actually moved her hand. But okay, still frames. You got like 5 pregnant wives now. They don't even animate the bird anymore. It's still frames. Like a fight now to kill something. But the fight is still frames. I'm sorry, but come on. Of course, it's gonna be the sexy. His pants over oppas though. It's not even animating or moving. Please make it stop. Ah, they're actually moving their hands a little bit. They're like hard on breathing, yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna use the elephants as bait! Oh yeah, it's good. Good storytelling. Yeah, they're really evil, but you know. He's got all the eyes. Oh, she moved her eyes a little bit. Yeah, she fell into some kind of eye monster thing. I don't know how it works. I don't know. My tricep hurts. Oh, she indeed. Oh, so a bunch of new characters again. No, we've seen 2 of them. 2 new characters. I like how they skipped over how this character do. Yeah, like this there. This is a new woman here. I don't know. She's some dark elf. She appeared, I guess, in between the chapters. Yeah, she popped in the episode. Yeah. Unknown new life is. You know? Who is this character even? I don't even know who the character. I genuinely have no idea who this character is. When did she appear? Was it an evolved character? Or is it animated now? Yeah, I have so little. Oh god, I'm still. I can skip over for introduction. Is she one of the goblins that evolved? I have no idea. Like, I genuinely have no idea. Who's that woman? Who was that character? Let's go back. Is she supposed to be one of the goblins that he grew up with? Because she's calling him like Big Brother, you know. She's calling him like, you know, Onishan, kind of, right? Go Onishan, yeah, something like that. Whatever. She's like, this is how bad it is. And it really must have took a good, right? Where it's like, oh, here's a new goblin female character, I guess. I guess she's a goblin. Maybe we can do an elf more, but goblin. And she's now the main, I don't know, she's now the leader of this party. And all the party members are suddenly there, right? The episode they appeared, and again, I don't know what the character is. I mean, it really feels like every time you watch the anime, you have skipped over like a few episodes. Yeah, this is episode 10, but you missed episode 9 or something. It's like, who is this character? And this is the feel all the time. It's like, come on. I have no idea what is a human for. Literally, like, how does that make any sense? It doesn't make no sense. Why is one of the babies a human for? There's no more clearly ogres. Why is the one seemingly one a pure human for? When he's an ogre, it doesn't make any sense. It's only 4 months ago. He has a good point. She's basically leveled up to this like milk vampire lady. Yeah, totally like a few weeks ago. And he's like conquered half the planet and there's like 11 kids now. Yeah, they give birth very quickly as humans. Yeah, that's true. These human ladies, they all got impregnated like a month ago and they all give birth already. That's true. Remember how dumb is this? Minotaur was classic maze, right? Like Daedalus maze with the Minotaur. At Treta, so I guess. But is it Ogre Kitschy? Is he the Minotaur then? Maybe Ogre Kitschy just lost his mind or something. It sounds like Ogre Kitschy and he went crazy. Yeah, he did level up though. And also his wife, of course, bought this. But he looks more Minotaurus now, definitely. He's way bigger now. Okay, cool. And you shrunk! That's good. It's good, Okichi. He's like, you're tinier. Yeah, you're bigger, Okichi. She's tall, bigger too, though. But if she can bigger, I don't know. You only that I can beat my brother can be true friends. Yeah, it's like beautiful bromance here. Okay, let's see. That could be the ultimate bromance fight, or the worst bromance ever. Yeah, this just turned into just a giant CGI effect with like flame. This is almost no animation there. Yeah, a little bit of animation actually for once, but I mean, obviously, I expect it to be almost black and white. You can really see how it's laid down because it's so much fire effects, right? It is done by they're using so much VFX all the time to just don't have an animation. So it's like an explosion. So this is a still frame, right? And then it's standing there with just the fire, right? So this anime, you see that since the 3 frames back, but they basically constantly using this like fire explosions or whatever, right? Or a wind effect. So the characters are actually standing still, but they're doing some kind of wind around them, right? So they have to animate. They can do it like in some VFX effect. You can see it all the time. So here, he's just standing still, but his eyes is burning, you know, like his eyes burning. But there's actually no animation, right? So this anime constantly tries to trick you. It constantly tries to trick you, the viewer, that they're actually animated, but there's no animation. It's just pure VFX. Same thing here, right? Okay, his mouth moving, but you know the point. Like, yeah, most of it's like the eyes. Same here, right? The wind is like moving his hair a bit. I guess I have to animate the hair moving, that's possibly fair. But still, the point. It's like the wind is like moving, so you see the effect around him. But this is what I mean. Like, yeah, he's animating very slightly, right? Like he's animating his arms very slightly, and his shield is doing a little bit this thing. So look at this thing. That's no animation again, right? It's just like kind of a little bit, you know what I mean? So the anime does this thing, do this thing, right? They do this thing all the time, yeah. Where it's like they have very little movement. So either the guy is like, you know, blocking, and I have a shield on me, but it's here. So either the guy is shielding it, right, with his like, you know, shield head. And instead of like actually animating him, right, doing this thing, like his hands like shaking, you know what I mean, like this thing, and then of course you see the effects around him, right? Or the other guy is like attacking him with a spear or whatever, or a sword, and then we see kind of like the sword is creating these lighting things, so it's like da 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 da. But he basically isn't actually trusting the sword, neither is he blocking or whatever, or actually using the weapon, you know, properly. It's he's just doing this thing, right, you know, and the other guy is doing this thing, like protecting. And then you can animate that forever. It looks incredibly silly, right? It's just like this is animated. Yeah, it looks ridiculous. It's so lazy. But you have the end list have a little bit some cool finisher. I mean, it looks a little better. I mean, yeah, a little better. But this is kind of what I mean. That's not a still frame, right? Yeah, this is not a still frame. But it's a little bit bromance. It's sad that this fight actually has a little bit bromance over it. He's like, you're my bro, I'm gonna fight you. You know, it's some bromance there, but it is just bullshit. Yeah, like it's nothing compared to any other anime. There's so many other animes with bromance things like that. This is terrible. But yeah, there you go. The worst bromance fight in anime history. I mean, honestly, it's sort of a classic, iconic fight, right? In a sense. I mean, not the anime itself, but just having like, you know, whatever, the Soros Luffy, or yeah, like the typical bromance, right? When the main character and his best friend basically have a fight, right? Or a sparring in this case then, but a very common trope, right? And you know, but this is just so bad. What can I say? Yeah, it's just so bad. I mean, it's like, yeah, you know, it's so bad. It really is. But I mean, this anime of course is the worst. I said earlier, I said again, right? This of course is the worst anime this year easily, but it is interestingly like how lazy they are. And I hope no one gets fooled by it. But it's kind of interesting, I think, because like 2 episodes ago, right, it was still framing it constantly, and it was a little bit effects, right. Last episode was like in the middle, but already 2 weeks ago, I told you guys that okay, they were like, you know, they're doing this VFX over still frames to pretend that it's moving, right. But it wasn't that much, of course. It was a little bit, like for a few minutes, but it was still very obvious. But now instead, half the episode was like this fight. Or roughly speaking, and then before the pregnancy with all the wives, you know. So now I was just, this is definitely, I would say, the clearest example of how to try to trick the viewer that you don't have actually animation, right, and instead you have VFX. But of course, it's not like good trickery. No. I mean, it's a clear example of how not to do it, basically. Yeah, it is. It's an incredibly obvious, like, there's no actual animation here, but we're throwing some VFX over it. And I keep saying it, right? I mentioned a few weeks ago, but here it was so incredibly obvious because, there was a long fight, and especially because of the fire and wind stuff, right? So many scenes are basically just like the character standing there, and then there are flames, around them. And you can see it immediately because when he kind of shot at him, immediately, right, it explodes, and you have fire, and it's like fire, and it means that you can't see the character because they're standing in the explosions, which means, of course, you don't have to animate how the characters are moving. So suddenly a character that was over here is now over here instead, because they were moving during that fiery explosion, you know what I mean? So there's actually no animation, there's no frames, it's just like a fire image, then you move the character over there, right? And of course, as I explained earlier, VFX, or ergo, virtual effect, it's 10 times cheaper than animated stuff, right? Because you can do it in like a few hours in Unreal or Unity or whatever. You use Blender, Maya, and so on. It is very little work to make VFX compared to actually animated frames and so on. So anyone with basic, like computer art skills can do it. And also, let's point out here, the VFX are also terrible, okay? For example, a game I worked on, they had this VFX artist, and he used to follow what I wanted, kind of thing, right? So I was like, yeah, I want to have this guy throwing lightning magic, but she's like a bird human character, some kind of harp or something. So I would like when she throws a lightning, she shoots a lightning bolt, right? If the lightning itself could transform into a bird or something and like fly at the enemy or something cool like that, right? He's like, I got you, right? So he made like a lightning thing, and you move the hand, the harpy lady, and she does like kamehameha. And then the kamehameha is like lightning enhanced, right? And then turns into like a bird, and then hits the enemy with like a bird beak thing, kind of like summoning a wolf or something like that. Like a bird hits them, something like that, Like that. I don't say it's the greatest thing ever or whatever. My point is that makes the lightning, it's more than a pure lightning ball, right? Because it's like a lightning ball transforming into an animal, fitting for the character. My point is that took him like 1 or 2 days of work, right? I think he did it in less than 1 day. Yeah, there was like 1 day work, Like he's like, oh, whatever, yeah, sure, bro, yeah, here it is. You know what I mean? It's like super cheap, right? But this anime doesn't even do that. This anime, the lightning ball is just a lightning ball, you know what I mean? Or a fireball, the beginning point. It's not even like any cool animation. It's very, very basic. And honestly, you can probably buy this stuff, right? If you go to like Unity store, Unreal store, and so on, you can buy, asset models. You can buy VFX effects. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they literally just bought these things. Because you can buy like fire VFX effects for like a few dollars. That's how cheap this anime is. It has incredibly bad VFX, no animation, and I genuinely think they just bought this stuff on like the Unreal asset store for like $5. That's how cheap it is, Like that's how incredibly cheap this anime is, and I really mean it. Like genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And I've seen other animes too, where like, my god, I use a steal frame of my Goblin or whatever. I've seen other animes too, right, where it's like, oh god, you can buy better stuff at the asset store for like, nothing. And if you buy them, because even the contract, you're allowed to use them in your stuff, in your games and so on, or your movies or whatever, depending on, of course, what the seller's contract is, right? So, but of course, there are many sellers in Unity and Unreal, etc., that are selling like fireball effects, right? And of course, you can use them as much as you want, right? In an anime, in a movie, in a game, whatever. It's like just give us $5, you can use it, Because usually these stuff are made by students, right? Usually these kind of VFX stuff is made by like 20-year-old guys in college, right? When I make a few extra bucks, right? And they spend some time making that, and usually they do it because they also learn how to use the tool, right? And then they put it on the store, and it's like, yeah, give me $5, That's kind of the level of it, yeah. That's what this anime is. It's like they literally, this anime is the level, yeah. They literally bought like some like college students, like knock off assets for like $5. And then they're just shooting that into the whole anime instead of an actual animation. That's what it is, the anime. Yeah, it's like a college student's terrible extra side job. It's so bad. Jesus Christ, it's bad. Anyway, see you guys. Have a great day.